Discuss a very important topic in pre-calculus, and this is set theory. Set theory has got a wide range of applications in relations. So when we'll study relations, in functions, in calculus, differentiation, integration, in sequence and series, and also in probability. So you can see here that without the right knowledge of set theory, it will be difficult to master pre-calculus. So set theory forms the base, or I should say the fundamentals of the entire pre-calculus syllabus. So let us begin with the definition of a set. Let us try to define a set. Let me scroll down. Yeah. So in mathematics, a set is a well-defined collection. It's a well-defined collection of distinct objects. So please focus on these two words, well-defined and distinct. So for example, let us consider a set which has got elements 1, 2, 3 and 4, and say something else which has got set elements 1, 1, 2, 2. So clearly you can see here that 1, 2, 3 and 4 here in the first case are distinct elements, while in the second case you can see 1 is repeated, similarly 2 is also repeating. So which means this doesn't satisfy our definition. Our definition says that elements have to be well defined and elements also have to be distinct. So when we say elements, it's a set of elements. We do not restrict ourselves to just numbers. So your set can also be, say, a combination of cities, say New York, Dallas, Kingsville. It could also be of say gadgets, operating systems, mobile phones, computer brands. So we are not restricting ourselves to just numbers. So of any well-defined collection of distinct objects. So here, let us discuss more about, say, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4 is a set, and let me denote it by A. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a set which is denoted by A, capital A. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, these are known as the elements of the set, and each set is surrounded by, or I should say covered by, curly brackets. These curly brackets, and each element is separated by a comma. So just to be precise, so whenever you are representing a set, step 1, so you are representing a set, say, of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our step 1 is we will put commas, 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. This is step 1. Step 2, we'll put curly brackets 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Step number 3, that we will represent it by a capital letter. I have chosen A, you could select anything from A to Z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we represent a set. Going back to the definition of set once more, let me scroll up. So we had written a set is a well-defined collection of distinct objects. So here obviously distinct is clear to all of us that the elements have to be different. So these elements could be numbers, it could be the names of cities, it could be gadgets, it could be anything which you can think of. But let us discuss more on the second important word, well defined. So what does well defined means here? Okay, so I'll just write few examples for you. So example 1. So my first example is there is a set which has odd natural numbers less than 10. Odd natural numbers less than 10. So odd numbers we know 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Can I take 11? No, no, I cannot take 11 because they have to be less than 10. So I'll have to stop at 9. Okay, so again I am denoting it by A. Let us take another example. Here the set is vowels in English alphabet. Vowels in English alphabet. So what choices do I have? I'm going to represent it by capital B. So we know A, E, I, O and U. So you can see I am following the rules. All elements are separated by a comma and the set is covered by curly brackets, and then I am representing it by a capital letter. Okay, let us see example 3. So what I mean from example 1 and 2, from the definition that both example 1 and 2 are well defined. There is no ambiguity. So when I say odd natural numbers less than 10, they have to be 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. If I would have written even natural numbers less than 10, so your choice would have been 2, 4, 6, 8. So clearly defining so that there is no ambiguity, there is no confusion. Let us look at example 3. So here I write all beautiful people in Texas. All beautiful people in Texas. So say for example, let us assume that we scroll down, that in Texas we have people A1, A2, A3, and say it goes up to AN. So these are the number of people in Texas, the total population of Texas. A1 to A9, AN, sorry. So, and I feel, since we have to define all beautiful people in Texas, and I feel that the most beautiful people in Texas are A1, A3, and A7. But my friend, one of my very close friends, he believes that these are A4, A8 and AN. And somebody from you might believe that they are actually A2, A3, AN minus 1 and AN. So because we all have our own perception, our own definition to define beauty. So it will be very difficult in this case to figure out a single set which would say satisfy the definition of set, which means it has to be well defined and distinct. Here distinct condition obviously will be satisfied because we are looking for different people. but well defined. So here this example needs more clarity. This is not well defined because we will choose our perception for beauty is different. All of us will have different choices when it comes to defining beauty. Okay, let me share one more example. This is example 4. Uh, Rivers of America. Rivers of America. Just tell me whether this is well defined. Is there any ambiguity in the in the sentence? Obviously, we know that all rivers are well defined. So there is no confusion about rivers. So we have the data, we have this information with us that what is the total number of rivers in America. So this is a well defined set. Let me give you example 5. So there is no ambiguity here. There is no ambiguity, there is no confusion. This can be easily defined. The next example is, say, prime factors of 210. What are the prime factors of 210? So when you factorize 210, 3, 35, yes, 5, 7 and 7, 1. So the prime factors are 2, 3, 5, 7. Is there any other answer to this question? Prime factors of 210? No. So we have got a unique distinct values 2, 3, 5 and 7. So hence, I think these examples would have helped you to understand the meaning of set. I'm just going up for more clarity. So set is a collection of objects, elements which are well defined and distinct. They can be numbers, it could be objects, it could be cities, it could be any gadget, mobile phone, whatever you can think of. Your favorite players, your favorite football players, everything is possible. What are the steps you have to remember before writing a set? We will separate each element by a comma. Step number 2, use of curly brackets. Step number 3, each set will be represented by a capital letter. Right? Now, what are the different ways of writing a set? So now we know what a set is and what a set is not. Say in the case of example 3, all beautiful people in Texas. So this statement needs more clarity because all of us have our own perceptions of beauty. So now let me scroll down, and now we'll discuss how or what are the different ways through which we can express a set or represent a set. So before we move forward, there are certain important symbols, very important symbols, which you should know. Very important symbols. What are these? First one, epsilon, and we read it as belongs to. So when we'll do functions or relations, you will have to use this epsilon. Second, okay, this is for all, or also known as for every. Say a mirror image of E, it means there exists. There exist two dots such that we'll use them. So such that, this is such that, and comma, which means actually and, and. So epsilon, which means belongs to, for all, E, mirror image of E, there exists these two dots, sometimes also represented by a vertical bar such that, and a comma, and. So now we are going to discuss what are the different ways of representing a set.